Today, FSR 2.2 was added to Baldur's Gate. This is a significant upgrade for the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck there. I'm going to test both of them. The reason is that previously it only had FSR 1.0, and frankly FSR 1.0 looks pretty bad, especially if you turn the settings up. If you turn up FSR at all, really, it looks quite bad. So the fact that there's FSR 2.2 means that when you turn up the FSR, it's not going to look like absolute crap, which means it's basically going to be playable with FSR, and that's going to make the game perform better. And we'll start with it off, and then you'll see that we're going to need it, to be honest. You can see that, how bad it runs. It's playable, right? But it's super choppy. Yeah, we're getting below 30 on average, and 17 is the lows. Again, still playable. We also have access to Ultra Performance for FSR 2.2, which it's a little soft on these peak character models, but the performance is way up. I mean, when you're zoomed out, you won't be able to tell. It's a little, no, it's a little soft, I would say. Like, their shadows look a little weird. Let's turn it down by 1 so we can compare directly to FSR 1, because FSR 1 doesn't have Ultra Performance. So this is the max that you can get out of FSR 1. And yeah, things look pretty good. You know, there's no shimmer up here. Everything looks good. Right? Looks, you can barely tell it's on. Maybe a little bit, but it's not like, you know, shocking or anything like that. Now it looks good. Person's hair looks good. So now, you know, we're at 46 or so and 24 lows. Let's go back now and we will put this into FSR 1. Do a little pan around. Just get, yeah, see how much the lows are down? Down to 8. Right? And she looks weird. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but look, her hair is all shimmery and weird. The plants are all shimmery and weird, and it's noticeable. Like, it's actually noticeable. This is a little bit softer, but it's not bad. There's a little bit of like wonkiness there, but especially in fine details. Like this, look at this dude's face. Like his little thingy on his eye, his monocle looks weird. His hair looks weird. The plants all look shimmery, and it's actually a bit worse in person. Like, we'll go back to performance here. Okay. And look at how clean that is now. Wow. It actually looks way worse on camera now. So FSR 2.2, it does slightly increase the performance, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for that dramatically increased image quality here. It looks fantastic right now. The camera does not do it justice, I will warn you. It looks way better in person, but you can see that there's no shimmer, right? No shimmer whatsoever. The dude's hair looks normal. The girl's hair looks normal. Everything looks nice now. So now that we have FSR 2.2, you can easily just crank up that FSR to performance. Ultra Performance is too much, in my opinion. Crank it up to performance and really just have at it, because the game looks fantastic on performance. It runs well. Like, you can see here we're above 30, even when we're panning around in Baldur's Gate, which normally, like, it just is brutal. Like, it's almost unplayable, even on the ROG Ally. So very good addition to this game. It now is, I would say, 100% playable on the ROG Ally. But now let's try the Steam Deck. Okay, so now we're at 720p medium in Baldur's Gate itself. It's going to be very, very bad. I'll just warn you that now. 22 FPS, and this is 720p, so it's lower resolution than the ROG Ally, but again, lower resolution, but weaker CPU, so. But yeah, you can see there it's like 22. The frame time is really bad. Minimum is, I can't even find it, it's so small. Don't see minimum FPS, unfortunately, but it's bad. We'll put it that way. 24, 19, like it's, I would say borderline unplayable. Okay, so let's come stand over here near this dude again. I can't get the exact same angle, but we can see there, it looks fine. I mean, it's a little soft because it's 720p, but it looks fine. I don't have any issues with this. No fuzzies. The performance is really bad. But now, so what we'll do is we'll try FSR, and we will try the original FSR, and you'll see why it was just like not playable. The issue is ultra quality wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't enough to get the frame rates up, so you really had to turn it up to balanced, for example. Even so, I mean, we're looking at 28 FPS or so. It's just not great, right? We'll turn it up to performance, which is, you know, what you would need to even get it remotely playable. on the Steam Deck. And even that, I mean, yeah, it's still not good. Like 26 FPS, right? When you zoom out, it might go up a touch, maybe. Yeah, it's still at like 20, right? So it's playable now, I would say, but it's a little rough, right? But the other thing is, it looks like garbage. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it just looks awful. Like we're on performance mode and we're at, you know, FSR 1, and it just looks like it's barely playable in terms of visuals alone. Like I can't even tell these people have faces, right? And the performance was not great. So let's now try the new FSR, FSR 2, and that's because we're at a low resolution. Actually, that looks good. That looks quite good. It doesn't even look soft. Like, let's see if you can get the details. It's really hard to capture on camera, but you can see there's like details down here. If there's any pixelation, it's because my camera's... Oh, no, I don't want to talk to this guy. Yeah, well, his hair, like you can see his hair there. It looks good, right? Very minimal shimmer on his hair. And it looks way worse on camera, all things considered, right? Like that's how I see it. It does not look bad. It's still a little low, but this is the most demanding area in the game, right? As we know. So we're going to go low now on performance, just normal performance, FSR 2.2, and see what we can get here. Yeah, and see now we're above 30. There's still a little bit of wonkiness when they move around, just a little bit of trailers, I guess I'd say, around the edges. Playable, but it's not great. Yeah, see, they look a little weird. Let's turn it down just a little bit more. Yeah. Actually, that looks good now. Balanced FSR on low. There's not a ton of detail, but a lot of the weird shimmery stuff is gone. You know, when you get into cutscenes, let's talk to this guy again. If he lets me. Yeah, I mean, he looks good, right? No shimmers over here. All the scenery looks good. No issues whatsoever. When you're not in Baldur's Gate and you throw on low with balanced FSR, I mean, the frames are good, right? We're above 30, easily above 30. And the game looks good. And, yeah, they just look weird. I don't know. Like, it's just, they look like pixelated mess, right? Even when you zoom in, they look kind of weird, right? So, yep, I'm actually quite happy that FSR, can I come up there? FSR 2.2 has been added to the game. It makes playing on the Steam Deck now viable, right? Like, you don't have as much weird effects here. You can actually come down here and you can really turn up the FSR on 2.2 to the same which you would use on 1, but it just looks better, right? It looks considerably better, right? Like there was all that weird modeling effect and everything. It just looks significantly better. They've added FSR 2.2 to Baldur's Gate, which has a huge impact on the playability of the Steam Deck. I would say taking it from unplayable to now playable. And on the ROG Ally, it takes it from a mediocre experience to actually quite a good experience.